going on, guys? So today we are back with another Pokemon Masters video, but today I actually wanted to go over 5 different tips that I think will help anyone getting started in Pokemon Masters. Now, my tips are coming from an area where I haven't played too many gacha games myself. The only one that I've really been exposed to was Dragon Ball Legends, and this game versus that game, the objective is totally different. So there's quite a few things that are quite interesting with Pokemon Masters, and I personally think that these 5 things will really help anyone that's just getting started in Pokemon Masters in general. So the first thing that we're actually going to talk about is each trainer actually has a role. So there are 4 different roles, 3 if you really want to think about it that way. We actually have a strike role, but the strike role can be split into both physical and special. So as you can see here on Pikachu, right here under the role, it does show this little fist icon, and then it has like a circle around it. So that actually means that we are a special striker, meaning that we basically focus our attacks around the special attack stat. If we go over to Brock with Tyranitar, you can see he is a physical striker, meaning that his attacks are focused more on his physical attack stat. So the striker stat can kind of be split up into 2, but it's just generally referred to as the strike role. Next, we actually have the tech role, which Brock with Onix actually falls into this class. It's kind of an awkward role because at first I was like, oh, well, that's just going to be a role that disrupts the opposing team, but not really. Like, if you look at Brock here, he's tech, but he only has things that buff your own team, so sharply raises the user's attack and defense, meaning he's basically only going to raise himself. Even his passive doesn't do anything to the opposing team. So it's not like he's actually like actively debuffing the opponent's team, but he's kind of like a hybrid role is how I've started to look at it. So he's not really like a striker, meaning he doesn't really have like an all-out focus on pushing damage, but he doesn't actually have a huge focus on the support role either, because he's not actually just all-out supporting the team. All of his moves aren't focused around building up the team to be even stronger. It's kind of a hybrid between the two, which our third and final role is actually the support role. So you can see we have this little heart here under Misty. That actually just signifies that this trainer and this Pokemon kind of excel at buffing up our own Pokemon and kind of helping out our team more than we do output damage. And there's actually a really importance to that role, because the way that the AI works in this game is that it's going to be targeting the bulkiest Pokemon on your team. And the reason that I bring that up is because Snivy, all the way up to Superior with Rosa, actually is the bulkiest Pokemon in the game. If you get Superior all the way up to level 100, its stats reflect the bulkiest Pokemon in the game, which means the AI is always going to be targeting Superior first. So that actually helps out a lot, because that means you can stick Superior on a team and then just have 2 strikers if you want to, or a striker and another tank, or however you kind of want to work around it. But basically it's a nice role that most teams are going to want because of how the AI works. A support role is just amazing. The next thing that we're actually going to talk about is kind of segued straight in here, because Rosa and Superior are amazing. This entire point kind of centers around the free-to-play units are actually really good. So Rosa and Superior are a great free-to-play unit. Like I said, bulkiest unit in the game. It's an amazing character to have. Swanna with Skyla here, also a very amazing unit. Both of those are free-to-play. Some other notable ones, Hal, which I personally haven't gone through the story and unlocked yet. Hal actually has one of the best special attacks in the game, and he's free. You just play through his storyline and you get him. It's amazing. On top of that, Lucario, being such a huge physical attacker. As you can see, going into Mega Lucario makes him even better as a physical attacker. All free-to-play units, all amazing units at that. So definitely, like, you don't have to spend money in this game to have a team that's worthwhile, which I think is really, really cool and really interesting for a lot of those free-to-play players out there that just don't want to spend money on it. I think that's a great move on their part. The next thing that we're going to talk about are items and some farming advice. So in Pokemon Masters, of course, like most other games, there are tons of items that you can use and consume and use to help with whatever you're trying to accomplish in the game. So straight away, we have level up manuals, we have buff blends, tectonics, aid aids, notes, training manuals, and skill capsules. There's also something called star power-ups, which I currently do not have any. There's also exchangeable items, which are pearls, I'm pretty sure is the only thing we have right now, pearls and big pearls. And then evolution materials, which are evolution shards and evolution crystals. So there's a ton of items here, and let's actually go through a couple of these. So level up manuals are basically going to level up your sync pair. So for level up manuals, on the very first one here, you actually get 100 XP every time you use one, which is okay. Once you get up to the second level though, it actually boosts your Pokemon by 1500 XP, which is a huge jump. And then on top of that, the third level here boosts by 5000 XP. So these are amazing tools to kind of boost your Pokemon up to the level that you're looking for really, really quickly. Buff blends are going to be used for that strike roll, whether it's unlocking moves, unlocking level cap, whatever it is. Buff blends are going to be used specifically for the strikes, whether it's physical or special. They're all kind of under that strike umbrella. Tectonics are going to work the same way for the tech, and aid aids are going to work the same way for the supports. Now, notes here, we do have these gym leader notes, and gym leader notes are used to unlock the last level cap for a sync pair. So let's actually go back here and we'll take a look at Rosa, and you can see in Rosa here, I actually have level 100 ready to go, except I'm missing one of those notebooks. So that's kind of the last thing that I need to get Rosa up to level 100. And those are kind of the rarest item that I've encountered so far. The pearls are kind of rare, but they have a super course attached to them, which we'll talk about that here in a second. So they're not actually like as rare as the gym notes. The gym notes are actually pretty hard to farm. And as you can see, I have quite a few items here already farmed out, but I only have 3 notes. So they're kind of rare. Next, we actually have these training machines, which training machines are used to teach moves. I think they're used to unlock passives at some point, but I've mainly seen them to unlock moves, and they're gonna drop with a lot of different things, whether it's specific super courses, whether it's just the regular courses that you're gonna be able to do in the training area. They drop quite often, so they're not super rare. Skill capsules though are a little bit more rare. I only see those dropping from some of the higher level super courses, like the very hard super courses or even the hard super courses. They're not super hard to get a hold of, but you do have to get to kind of like the higher difficulties before they start dropping reliably. These star power-ups are gained once you scout, which we'll talk about those here in just a little bit. The pearls can actually be given to you from trainers inside of the Poké Center right here, inside of Centra City. Or you can actually go through a super course, which we'll talk about that as well. Evolution materials, though, can only, as far as I know, only be exchanged from the shop, which we'll also talk about that here in just a second. So out of those items, one of the best ways that I have found to actually farm for those is under the training area. You'll see we have level up course, which to no one's surprise gives you those level up manuals. We have the strike course, which gives you the buff blends. We have the tech course, which gives you the tectonics. We have the support course, which gives you the 8 aids. And then we have these super courses. The super courses are quite unique because it's a support super course, which is the one that I currently have active, and those give you specific items for specific roles sometimes, or they could give you pearls, or they can give you just kind of random things. It just kind of depends on what you're going for, whether it's level up manuals or whatever it is. as you can see here, we do have the rewards as a skill capsule on the very top one. We have the 8 aids for the second and the last one there. So it kind of depends on which super course you're going after to which one kind of gives you which items, but those give you some of the best rewards that you can get right now. So they're very, very difficult to beat if you haven't powered up Pokemon, but once you power up Pokemon, then they get a lot easier. Like the level up super course right now, I have yet to be able to beat the very hard one. I haven't tried in a few days, so possibly it could be easier now, but either way, they can be difficult if you don't know what you're doing. Another thing to be said, you can see that they have time limits here. Those time limits actually correspond to when they rotate. So we only have 2 super courses active at a time. Right now I have the support super course and the level up super course. So if at any point during the day I don't complete these, I just kind of forfeit those rewards and they roll over to whatever the next one is in the list. For some ungodly reason, they're on a 16-hour timer. It makes no sense. I really think that 12 hours would have been way better and just have it reset on days reset every day. That would have made a lot more sense to me, but 16 hours is every time that they reset, they just move on to the next one. Sometimes you'll have the coin super course, which I find to be one of the best rewarding ones because you get tons of coins, which you can then in turn exchange things for in the shop, but we'll talk about that shortly. The next thing that we're going to talk about is the summoning or the scouting mechanic in the game. So to actually scout, you just literally go into the store, you go, or the shop or whatever, you go to Sync Pair Scout and you can scout. That's pretty basic. It's pretty widespread known information from, you know, every gacha game. But there's an interesting thing that Pokemon Masters does that I personally haven't had exposure to before, which are scout points. So scout points basically are awarded to you every time you scout a trainer. If you single scout, it's going to give you 3 points. If you multi-scout, it's going to give you 30. So what that boils down to is every single trainer that you scout, you basically just get 3 points for. Once you accrue 400 points, you get to basically go into the banner and literally cherry pick whichever unit you want, and it's yours. So the mechanic is really, really cool. The thought behind it is really, really cool. Getting to 400 points though is quite a task. What I've seen a lot of people recommend is that just kind of save all of your gems that you want for a banner that possibly has a trainer that you absolutely want, like Cynthia, Red, Blue, something like that, and just go really, really hard on that banner. Summon, 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 summon. After you get enough points, if you still haven't gotten that one sync pair that you really, really want, you can literally just cherry pick it out. So I like the idea behind it, but I am way too impatient to be able to do that, so I'm probably just never gonna get to pick the ones that I want. Either way, another interesting point is if you're scouting trainers and you actually end up scouting a trainer that you already have, what ends up happening is you actually don't get anything like super amazing from it, but you actually end up getting a buff to that trainer's sync moves. So Winona is a trainer that I have scouted multiple times already. If we actually go to her sync move, you can see right here it actually shows a level 3 out of 5. I don't know why it just won't let me tap on it, but anyways, level 3 out of 5, which means that I've actually pulled Winona 3 different times. So what ends up happening is even if I pull Winona once more, I will get level 4 out of 5, which is just increasing the damage output that I know of our flyaway air cutter sync move here. Once I hit 5 out of 5, if I've summoned and gotten Winona 5 different times, but I get her a 6th time, what ends up happening is I actually end up getting a special item which increases potential. So if we stick to Winona here, Winona is a 3-star trainer. So if I get her a 6th time, I actually get this 3-star power up, which is actually really interesting because what it allows me to do is it allows me to spend the resources to actually boost her to a 4th star, which is actually really cool. So if I spent enough 3-star power-ups, I could get her to 4-star power-ups. Once I get her to 4 stars, I will actually have to invest into boosting her with a 4-star power-up. which then after I get her to the 4-star power-up, I could in turn use the 5-star power-ups and so on and so forth. So what's interesting is you can see here that we do have Rosa, which is a 5-star trainer, but she can actually use 20 of these 5-star power-ups to boost her potential up to 6 stars. So possibly in the future, they could actually implement a way to go beyond 5 stars. Possibly, we don't know, just a possibility there. Another quick tip, just as soon as you start out in the game, once you get like, I think it's like chapter 2 or chapter 4, somewhere around there, you can actually go in and link your Nintendo account. What that actually does is it actually gives you quite a few gems. That gives you 600 gems, which is enough to summon twice in this game. So that's actually a really nice way to just give out gems. Plus it saves your information. It basically helps you out a lot because it doesn't allow you to lose your save data, which is great. I have no idea where this is going to be. It's at the very bottom. So literally just for linking a Nintendo account, 600 gems, 2 summons, do it. Easy peasy. Which that actually brings us to what should you be doing on a daily basis. So basically every day there are 3 missions currently in the soft release window. There are 3 missions that you can do every day which allow you to basically just have something to do on a daily basis. Exchanging items, get coins, and complete an area with a battle. So an area with a battle could be anything in the story as long as you battle someone. It could be anything in the training area. As long as you battle something, you're gonna be able to complete that. Get coins, 1,000 coins per day. Not necessarily super easy, but it's definitely feasible. You do have to kind of grind a little bit to get that 1,000 coins unless you do a small little trick here that I personally have done, which I'll show you. The last one is actually to exchange items in the shop. So why not kill 2 birds with 1 stone? Keep a pearl from when you do your pearl super courses or your coin super course and just exchange it once a day. It gives you 1,000 coins. It counts as an exchange and you basically get to complete that mission 2 for 1. So the important thing there is that it actually allows you to get 30 gems every day as long as you complete all 3 of those. So I'll claim that and you'll see I'll get that 1 training machine and I'll actually, on the VPN it's so slow. Just for anyone aware, the days that we did have without the VPN, this game ran so smooth, so much quicker. I mean, it was so snappy. I loved it. The VPN really does slow this game down a lot. So we'll receive our training manuals and then you see our training machines and we do get 30 gems there as well. So easy peasy. On top of that, I really do highly encourage you to do the super courses every day because they do rotate. It's a lot harder to kind of pick and choose which ones you want. So just doing them every day allows you to get a ton of items and it's not like you can just go in and farm them over and over and over. They do have a limited time use. Like I haven't done the level up with Grant yet, but if you look at the ones with Brendan here, I have none remaining. I've done them all. I've done them all for today and I can't do any more until it rolls over into the next one, which would be in a little over 4 hours here. So they're a great way to add to your item count. They're a great way to help out your farming because they do give quite a few more items than just the regular courses as well. So that is actually going to be the 5 things that I really think that everyone should know before they start really delving into Pokemon Masters. Of course, there's tons of other tips. There's tons of other things that you could learn. There's too many things that I can just include in one video here, so definitely let people know down in the comments what are some things that have helped you out if you're playing in this soft release window, because it's great to spread helpful information like that. So that is actually going to be it for this video, guys. Thanks so much for hanging out. Thanks so much for watching. I do want to remind you that the Discord is down below, which we do have a Pokemon Masters section with a nice little bot that helps you look up information if you'd like to do that. I hate booting up a VPN and then jumping into the game just to look at one move's information, so I wrote a bot to do all that for me. There's also going to be a spreadsheet link down in the description below, which does have a ton of Pokemon Masters information in it. If you're a stat junkie, if you like to look at numbers like I do, then that is going to be all for you. It will be linked down in the description as well. So until our next video, guys, that is actually going to be it, and I'll go ahead and play those ending credits for you. Thank you guys so much for watching. Always remember that if you like to like videos, you could do that, but if you don't, you could be that guy. Otherwise, let me know what you have to say down in the comments below about the video. I do highly appreciate you guys watching. If you guys want to support me in any way, there are several links down in the description for Patreon, joining the community here on YouTube, or even just directly PayPal if that's your thing. I greatly appreciate everyone's name that's on screen, as you guys have showed some sort of support outside of just viewing the videos, and I thank you guys. You don't understand from the bottom of my heart. So until our next video, guys, I will catch you then.